Is our family at risk after Gohan flew off the handle? Hey guys, MasakoX here, and now we've actually gone to this new schedule, I think it's time that we actually go back to a what if that we haven't addressed in a while. It's one of the most asked questions in the Dragon Ball community, and it's actually got some evidence in the original story. And that is, of course, what if Goku married Bulma? Now you might be thinking that, oh my god, this is a completely preposterous and ridiculous concept. That is if you're talking in modern day Dragon Ball standards and where we are right now in the timeline. But if you look back to the original series and the Dragon Ball days, then you might actually see that it's not as crazy as you might think. We need to take it back to the day when these two characters were in their teens. In her late teens, Bulma kind of had a crush on Goku when he became an adult, and even back in the day when they first met, she did find the young boy rather fascinating. And that's kind of a big deal coming from the girl who is the daughter of the most successful scientist in Earth history and part of the richest company on the entire planet. She's pretty much seen everything at this point. Had she enacted upon her original feelings back in the day, over the last 6 parts we've seen that thing happen and realise itself. She would have had a son, also called Gohan for the reasons that I've explored before, and her life would have been pretty good. Goku would have given her a really chill time, really chill husband, and very easy to please. And of course, it gave her the freedom to do what she loved doing, engineering. However, in the last part, all of this started to come to a head and it brought up a really big pressing concern. And that had something to do with Gohan. Up until this point, and for the longest time, Gohan had been such a sweet young boy, not really riddled with anything bad at all. He didn't really have tantrums, he was a perfect child. But once it became clear the Saiyan instinct for fighting really was something that she probably couldn't handle, and we saw that happen in part 6 when he basically attacked her. She didn't know what to think, and it came to that time where she really needed Goku to step up, but as we saw, it ended with the phrase, "We need to talk." Those 4 words are never something anyone wants to hear in a relationship. As for Vegeta, he's sitting pretty. After seeing both Frieza and his dad off, he's feeling on top of the world and that he's capable of anything. So as the gang are returning to Earth under a bit of a cloud, Vegeta's just there going, "Yeah, I feel great. I'm the awesome. I avenged my race. Go me!" On this trip home, Bulma begins to impress her worries upon Goku. So they're actually talking it out. She needs to voice her worries to Goku to see if there is anything he can do to help. She worries that Gohan is losing focus and will slowly revert to becoming a traditional Saiyan. She doesn't know what's going to happen, and maybe Goku does. So it's time that he needs to step up and really take the reins in figuring out Gohan's rage problem, because Goku wasn't aware that Gohan attacked her. And now that he is, he's still not quite sure why that would work and how that would happen. He's kind of dubious. And that's not exactly something to do with Bulma, he should know better. But that kind of makes Bulma think that she's going crazy. And this just makes things worse. As for Gohan, he's over in the corner feeling absolutely miserable. He doesn't know what happened, he flew off the handle. He got carried away. He didn't know what he was thinking. He's just a small boy, come on. All he wants right now is just a cuddle from his mother. But ever since the incident, she'd been really distant with him. And that's just really harrowing for a young child. They don't know what's going on. And then it hits Bulma. How could Goku possibly understand when basically the same thing happened to him on Namek? Yeah, it was sweet that he felt that way about Bulma and that he wanted to avenge her, but if he has the rage problems too, well, how does he know a way to help? Might this be the end of their relationship and they have to divorce? Well, no, not yet. Remember, Bulma is extremely strong-willed and she's not going to let this stop everything that she's actually aspired to. She basically demands that Goku get in touch with his son and they figure it out. And then she actually thinks, using her smarts, in the best way to try and get it through to Goku. Fighting and training. She suggests that by the time they get back to Earth, maybe they do some father-son bonding and go out on a trip to do some training, maybe. Then Goku might be able to understand what she's going on about Gohan's rage boost, see it for himself, and then come up with a solution that makes everybody happy. And hey, it appeals to Goku's idea for training, so works out. Ultimately, things end up not being too bad, at least for now. But if Goku's not too careful, they could be. The gang arrive back on Earth, but shortly after they do, Goku can sense something not quite right. There is a power level out there in the wilderness that they don't recognize. Somewhere along the lines of Idiot Rock. Catch my drift? It's future Trunks, everybody! And yep, my traditional what if staple is actually present here. In that the fact I basically keep future Trunks there just for the consistency's sake and make things a little simpler. Goku and the gang decide to go over and check it out, and Bulma's determined to stay near Goku because she's not done with him yet. Meanwhile, Trunks can sense some familiar power signatures, and something's going on, and then, hey, that might be Goku! And sure enough it is. He's relieved to see them all alive, but really strange that there's no Freezer around. As they do in the anime, Goku and Trunks talk it out and they just inform of each other about their situations. Trunks tells him about the 3 years, waiting for the androids to show up, they need to get stronger and be prepared. Everything is going smoothly, until Trunks spots Gohan. Who's that? That kinda looks like a young Master Gohan, but he's got my hair color and... what? Trunks loses his composure somewhat, and asks Goku who the kid is. And Goku casually says, oh, that's his son, Gohan. And that just makes Trunks all the more confused, and Trunks then asks who the mother is. Goku casually points to Bulma, but that just leaves Trunks absolutely speechless. In this timeline, he does not exist, nor will. I mean, Vegeta is there, sure, his father is there, and so is Bulma, so they could get together, but right now that doesn't seem to be the case. And if you went to a reality where you don't exist, and yet your parents and friends do, you're isolated, it's going to affect you subconsciously. Trunks then loses his train of thought and cuts the conversation short, telling Goku that he needs to go away for now. Before he does though, he remembers that he was meant to give Goku the heart medicine. He looks down at the capsule, and a very dark thought clouds his mind. Should he give the medicine to Goku? Maybe with Goku out of the picture, Vegeta and Bulma might get together. He might be born after all. He might be able to fix things by not doing the thing he was supposed to do and save Goku. He ponders this for a moment before coming to his senses. That is not something that his future mother would actually abide by. If she found out that he had not given the medicine to Goku and let him die, Bulma would be absolutely furious and demand that he go back and fix it again. Is that really worth the angst? And really, that's just cruel, denying something that could easily save someone's life. So Trunks knows better and just decides to carry on and just say, look, here, take the medicine, this will save your life, before cutting it short again and heading back to the time machine. This is all wrong. This wasn't supposed to happen. This isn't how time's supposed to work, at least his own concept of it. It just goes to show, multiverse theory's a bitch, eh, Trunks? This could have major consequences going forward, but for now, Trunks heads back to the future, and the gang in the present have to figure out a solution as to combat the android menace that is coming in a few years' time. Now this plays out mostly like it does in the anime, with Goku and Gohan are training, as well as Piccolo, because this Piccolo is now slowly coming to the conclusion that having some allies and friends might not be such a bad idea. In fact, because there's no worry about Gohan studying or anything like with Chi-Chi, there's more time to train, so they get stronger. During this time when they're training, Goku finally witnesses Gohan's rage flying off the handle, and this kinda scares him, and now he's thinking, okay, I kinda get why Bulma was so angry, this is something really unexpected. But at the same time, this being Goku, this also excites him, because, you know, strength, tapping into, it could be fun for both of them. He has a plan. Well, it's a bit of a crazy plan, but it's a plan nonetheless. Teach Gohan Super Saiyan. And this just strikes Piccolo as extremely odd. Why would you try and fix a rage problem by enacting a form that is purely based on rage? If Gohan acquired a form that Goku did on planet Namek, who knows what Gohan might do? He might have zero control and kill everyone on the planet. Goku then explains to Piccolo that there is a form below Super Saiyan that is something that is a lot easier to control, much less berserk than the one that they saw on Namek. If they can get Gohan to focus and tap into this form, they might be able to figure out a solution where Goku can more understand the rage and why it bubbles up inside of Gohan, and thus find a way for Gohan to be able to vent. And thus, those 3 years are spent training Gohan to be able to control his rage boosts. At first, they finally get Gohan on the road to be able to actually use Kaioken, after understanding it and learning it back in the day when he was too young and his body was too weak to be able to actually handle the form. He was aware of the technique, but now he can actually use it. After months and months of training, they finally get a handle on it, and Gohan is able to tap into Super Saiyan Grade 1. And after that, his personality becomes much more stable. Phew! However, as that's been going on, Vegeta has been training on his own in the gravity chamber of the ship, back at Capsule Corporation. that means he's spending a lot more time around with Bulma because Goku and Gohan and Piccolo, they're out in the wilderness somewhere training, but Bulma's on her own at Capsule Corp and witnessing Vegeta train. Another Saiyan. She does find Vegeta pretty attractive, and his much more simple and fiery temperament is something that she can truly dig and understand, as well as be able to handle. So, you know, things are a little bit straightforward, whereas Goku can be kind of vague. She really is tempted by Vegeta, but no! Goku is doing his best to try and make the situation work and fix their problems and quirks. So, have faith in Goku, Bulma. It counts for something that Goku's trying, but still. That Vegeta though. 3 years after Trunks arrived with the news, the time has come for the gang to head 9 miles off of South City to the island of Sasebo, where the androids will strike first. The Z Fighters arrive sans Vegeta, who is busy off training with the ship out in deep space to try and get a handle on Super Saiyan. And they are all ready to tackle the threat. Yamcha is especially pumped up because he's been training hard with Krillin and Ten Shinhan over these past few years, as well as focusing on his baseball career, as well as wanting to protect him and Chi-Chi's first child, their daughter Tosa. What kind of name is that? What kind of pun is that? Well, it's derived from her parents' names. There's Yamcha, which is a derivation of the Cantonese phrase to drink tea, and then there's Chi-Chi, which is a Japanese derivation of the word milk. So, what works with tea and milk? Sugar. The Japanese word for that? Sato. Mix the syllables up a little bit, and then you get Tosa. Tea, milk, and sugar. I am not gonna lie, I am bloody proud of myself for coming up with that. Either way, the time strikes 10 o'clock, and the two menaces strike as they were intended to. And it's up to the gang to go and find them down the city au naturel, because remember, androids, they don't give out energy, so they gotta go and find them the hard way. Does Yamcha still get punctured by Dr. Gero? Well, he doesn't, but he is still overwhelmed by the pair of them, but at the same time, he's able to actually hold his own somewhat, just long enough so that means the gang can sense that Yamcha's energy is dropping, and that they need to come and try and help him. The rest then plays out like it does in the anime, all the way up to the point when Goku just about falls into his heart state. Because remember, grade 2 is a bigger strain on the body. It's gonna actually accelerate the heart virus, so he'll barely be able to get into the fight with 19 before he's actually stricken with the condition. He forgot to take the medicine. Gohan can sense that his father's power level is dropping and that he might actually die. And this is about to trigger yet another rage boost because this is a pretty big one. He screams out in anger and flies into the Super Saiyan form. He's barely holding on to his mental state, but thankful to the training of Piccolo and Goku, he is actually hanging in there. He barks out to Yamcha and Krillin to take Goku back home, and so that means he can actually take the medicine. Gohan then turns to Gero and 19, looking absolutely furious. And what does the doctor do in this situation? Well, he goes the young boy even more. And at this point, Piccolo would basically be face-palming and saying that that doctor's judgment is absolutely poor. Piccolo is all too familiar with what's about to happen next. Gohan immediately attacks and is going toe-to-toe with Android 19, right up to the point where 19's being able to actually take Gohan's rage to his advantage and get the jump on him, draining his energy. But before he can actually fully drain the young boy dry, Vegeta appears and kicks his head off with one hit in Super Saiyan. Boom! 2 Super Saiyans at once, 19 is down. 19's body goes limp and Gohan collapses to the ground, falling out of Super Saiyan. Vegeta descends to the ground and demands to know what's going on and why Gohan's in Super Saiyan before him. Gero is left absolutely mystified and horrified at the situation. Vegeta then whips around to Gero and can sense that his fear is building. Oh, Vegeta's going to love this. He might not be able to get the first one, but he can get the second one. Yeah, Dr. Gero is sensing that his time on this planet may not be long, he better get out of there. But before he can, Vegeta descends upon him and begins to wail on him majorly. But before Vegeta can get the final blow and end all of this, Gero senses an opportunity and blasts Vegeta in the eyes with an eye beam, blinding the Saiyan. Dazed and unable to see, Vegeta is wriling around in agony, his eyes completely destroyed, and Gero sneaks off without anyone figuring out what's happened. Vegeta is crying out for a sensu bean, or whatever thing that can actually give him his eyesight back. Piccolo looks at it for a moment, thinks, and then decides for the best, maybe just give him one. With the Saiyan's vision now fully restored, it's a mad dash to try and find Gero and end all of this once and for all, as well as for Goku to get back to Capsule Corp in time and take the medicine, so that means he can survive as well. And that's where we're going to leave things for now. Now I'm going to leave you guys a poll, and this is something quite interesting and maybe quite crucial going forward. So you remember that Future Trunks was having a really big conflict of interests about what to do? This is what I'm going to ask you. Does future Trunks actually come back to the past to help them? Does he or does he not? Vote in the poll right up top, and this might change the course of the actions going forward, so I'll be very interested to see what you guys think. But what do you guys think of the situation right now? Do you think Bulma might give in to a temptation? Do you think Goku's actually going to pull through? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!